Next thing we're going to be working on is the glass for the 40 Ford sedan. You see I got a little, I scored it right here with my X-Acto knife. What I decided to do, this car comes with 2 sets of glass. And for the paint theme that I have going on it, which is red and black, it's going to work out really good. That I'm going to do the whole back in the red, kind of like blacks out the back of it. I've dry fit them already to see what they look like, and I like the way the back looks with the red glass in it. In the front, I want to be able to see through the windshield and actually be able to see some of the detail of the interior. So the only way to do this is to take the X-Acto knife and find a spot on the windshield that is going to be out of sight. That way, if you make a little boo-boo on it, don't cut it just right, that no one will be able to see it. Because normally somebody would either put this glass in it, or they'd put this glass in it and just be done with it. But I want it my way, and I want to modify it so that it has both glass in it, one color at the back, one color at the front. So you just got to do this carefully. So it's already chipped a piece off of it right there. If you can see that. Right there where I'm scoring it at, it already chipped a piece. So that's why I didn't want to do this where it would be visible. And I used these lights where they're pinned at because I haven't taken any of the lenses out. I used these lenses for some of the lights as my indicator of where to score the glass until it just decides to separate. I could have done this with my Dremel, I suppose, but it's very thin. It's very, very thin. So I didn't want to have a chance of having too strong of a tool to do it with. So I figured I would just do it like this. You might not be able to see exactly what I'm doing, but I am scoring the glass until it makes it either a pinch point to where I can move the glass back and forth and make it snap in two, or just cut straight through it. Whichever happens first. That's what we're working on. Probably going to end up making it a pinch point. Yeah, see, that one's already ready to go. So we just got to get this guy on this side to do the same thing. Just got to be careful not to cut yourself. Oh, see, that one just broke at the edge. And you got to be careful not to cut the glass or scratch the glass where it'd be visible, because then there's no fixing that. There it goes. Boom. 2 pieces. Cut exactly where I needed it, above the window line, out of the way. Needs a little bit of trim work, a little flash here on the glass there. So I'll trim that with my X-Acto knife later, right before the final install. Now we're going to score this one the same way. So we look at where we scored this one, just to make sure. Yep, right behind the lens there. Hold the glass down. straight across. Oh, that one already snapped as soon as I come across it. Let's do the other side. See, that one kind of, if you can see, the line turned a little. The knife went a little bit to the right. I was trying to cut it. So, that's why you do it where you can't see it. So if you have issues, nobody knows about it. The only reason you guys know about it is I'm showing you how I did this modification. Oh, that one's ready. That one's ready. Boom. And now it's going to be like this in the car. Just like that. And I'm not going to glue these two together until they're pressed into the roof of the car, because they will probably come apart as I'm pressing them in there if I did that. So just going to clean up the joints and then flip the car upside down and we'll do the install. So now we are ready to install the glass. Going to flip this upside down. And we are going to look for any imperfections that's going to stop us from installing the glass. And right now I see a couple. Just carefully do this so we don't scrape paint off of the car where we don't want to scrape paint off of. Alright, so you can see I got a little few scratches there. Did the front and the back. So I had paused it for a second just so I could go ahead and get that done, because it's hard to show you and scrape it at the same time. But these little mold impressions were a little bit sticking out a little bit from those right there. So I still got a little bit, but it's not something that's going to interfere with installation of the window. So now, do the big piece first. I'll put this back glass in. Gonna push it down. Take a look at that. Oh, that's good. Now if you see right there, it looks like a gap, but you look right here, you don't see anything until you turn it like right there. We're gonna try to get that worked out. Bring this in the same way from the back. Press it down like you would if it was one piece. So now, just want to make sure that we get it centered, because now it's not one piece, now it's two pieces. So you just want to make sure you get it lined up as good as possible. Everybody's right against the body, real tight. That's the main thing you want. You want to make sure there's no gaps between the glass. Make sure everybody's in the right position. Now, it's what there should be, because right there you see a little gap. When I bent that glass into the clear, it had a little bit that needed trimming. So there should be a gap there. Windshield looks in place. Back glass looks good. So we are going to put some window glue, which I have. Alright, so this is the window glue I use right now. come in a kit of paint and glue stuff that I got. So you can see that clear part cement and window maker. So that's what we're going to use, because once it dries, you can't see it. I used to do it with the regular testers glue, and then you started seeing glue everywhere, and I didn't have this. I didn't even know this stuff existed. So you can gob it up a little bit, and since it's a window maker, it'll actually fix those gaps in there. You can see right there, it'll fix that. And so I'm going to go around this edge here, try to squeeze some glue in here all the way around the edge. Because like I said, this is dry clear. You will not see it. It may have a slight bit of a shine to it, but so does the glass, so it'll look like part of the glass. Some people might say this is too much glue, but it's not a one-piece window anymore. And I want it to stay. Alright, so that's going to need something to hold that down. That looks good. Alright, let's take a look at this before we decide that's what we want here. Yeah, we're going to put something on that to hold that down. That kind of just fell away from there. It's a slight bit too much of a gap there. However, we're going to put something heavy on it to hold it down. But I don't want to put something that's going to stick to it. Let's see what we got here. Let's put 2 paints would fit. There we go. Now see, they are not going to sit on the glue. They're sitting on the window. It's hard to show you. But all I did was they're touching the edges of the glass. They're not actually on the glue. Excuse me. Another reason why I only glued at the edge of the windshield on the inside instead of all over the place. I don't want glue everywhere, even if it is invisible practically. And that's it. So we're just going to set this to the side, give it some time to dry. Looks like I want to put paints up here too to hold these down. So let me turn this. Get these 2 guys in here just to get some weight on that. And yeah, that's good there. So it's only glued on the inside of the window. No glue around the outside of the edges. The only time I would do that is if the window was really being a pain. But looks like everything's holding in place, so we're going to let that dry. And that will be the windows for the 40 Ford sedan.